We've been doing these vlogs a little over 2 years, and a common theme of the vlog has often been whatever crisis is occurring at the time. And of course, we're in a crisis now with the coronavirus. It's very real. So as we thought about how to approach discussing this, it kind of brought me back to one of my favorite hobbies. It's a passion of mine is working on my truck, working on cars, repairing them, maintaining them, upgrading them, whatever. I enjoy it. And so I was thinking about why I enjoy that so much. And I think it's because unlike being an investor or a financial advisor, there's a start and there's a finish, a quick finish to the goal. That sense of accomplishment happens fairly quickly. But just like investing, inevitably on the way in those projects, whatever I happen to be doing, there's going to be something that comes up that you didn't expect. A crisis, if you will, whether you stripped out a bolt or a nut or something, you got the wrong part, you've got to overcome during that project to achieve the end goal, which again happens quickly. So you get that sense of satisfaction almost immediately as soon as the project is over. Now, to relay this back to what's going on now, we're definitely in a crisis of sorts. The coronavirus, as it's spreading globally, is having a very real effect on the economy. How that ultimately ends up remains to be seen. But as we always do, want to put this into a little bit of perspective. The market, S&P 500, from its prior high is down 13% in about 2 weeks, which is a full-blown market correction. Not bear market yet, but market correction. However, let's look at that another way. Since 2017, the S&P 500 is still up 32%, a little over 10% per year. So from a perspective standpoint, we're still well ahead of the game from expectations. A 32% increase over a 2 to 3 year period is a little bit abnormal, and we're still well ahead. Now, when we're in these crisis moments like we're in, those emotions get high, and we often, and sometimes we lose sight of the goal. What's the goal? For most people, it's to make sure that you have enough money to live the rest of your life. So that sense of satisfaction, such that you'd get from working on a car or a truck, where you get that immediate bump as soon as it's done, is often never experienced because we're not around to experience that. But when we look at long-term investing, and that's what most people are long-term investors, and you're in these crises, oftentimes the advice you get is, well, just stay the course. And while that doesn't feel real good at the time, the whole reason you're rewarded for being a long-term investor is precisely because you stayed the course. That's the hard part. The hard part is not panicking during these crisis times and not selling at the wrong time. That's why we built our process. That's why we have stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in legacy for most portfolios, is to allow an investor the strength and hopefully a plan and a game plan to stay the course, because ultimately your fortitude is what provides the reward in the end, which is achieving your goal. For most people, that's just simply not running out of money. Now, we don't know how all this is going to turn out with this coronavirus. Certainly, we haven't really felt in the United States the full-blown weight of that at this point. A lot of what we saw last week was mostly just panic. You look at the volatility indexes, they're at an all-time high since 2011, which means you had a lot of people selling. Now, fundamentally, maybe they had a reason to sell. But most of the time, we would argue that's probably a mistake, because eventually they're going to have to get back in. And I can assure you, there won't be a time that it feels right. There won't be a time where making that decision to get back in the market will feel right. So I would argue that in the long run, they probably won't be rewarded for the decision to sell and panic. Now, maybe their portfolio was over aggressive. There might be reasons that they did it outside of just being fearful. But if we make fear-based decisions, we'll never achieve the goal. Just like when I'm working on a car or something like that, and something goes wrong, and you get scared that I've really screwed something up. You got to stop, clear your mind, develop a plan, maybe adjust the plan a little bit, so ultimately you can finish the project, and in that car you can drive it down the road. I hope you have a great week. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to give us a call. We look forward to hearing from you. Take care.